What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Jason. This is Just Jason Keto. And this week we are going to try and recreate a certain fast food sausage, egg, and cheese breakfast sandwich that is made out of a sweet pancake bun instead of a regular bun. So hopefully you all understand what that is and sort of what we're trying to accomplish here. For this recipe, we've got our 2 eggs. Then I've got 1 1/4 cups of shredded mozzarella cheese that's finely grated. I've got some breakfast sausage here that I've browned up, and I've added some sweetener to that as well. We'll get to that in a moment. We're also going to add some of this Swerve brown sugar sweetener into the batter. This is 2 teaspoons of that. Like I say, we're trying to go for the sweet breakfast sandwich vibe here this week. I've got some cheese, obviously, just some cheddar cheese, and then I've got just a fried egg ready to go here. Now, one thing I'm going to add to this, just to maybe sort of help the structure of this stuffed chaffle, is just some of this beef gelatin here. Just helps it come together a little bit better. One thing I've learned when you're adding any kind of sweeteners to a chaffle batter, sometimes it affects the structure of the chaffle itself. So the main sweetener we're going to use for this to try and recreate this flavor is this Scrummy Pancake Syrup. Now this is a really good brand. I've really enjoyed this syrup. I don't use it very often, but when I do, it's really nice. It is sweetened with erythritol. So like you can see, I don't use it very often. I've had this for a while, but it's very, very tasty, and it's quite like a pancake syrup. So let me get set up and we'll start putting this together, and I'll sort of show you the steps of how we're going to recreate or make a copycat of this breakfast sandwich. So we've got our 2 eggs beaten in the bowl here. So the first thing we're going to do is add our mozzarella cheese. Now, if you're new to chaffles, the reason we use mozzarella cheese is because it's a fairly bland cheese. It does not add a lot of flavor to the chaffles. And when you're trying to recreate other flavors in your chaffles, you don't want the cheese to sort of take over the flavoring. You know, so if you're trying to make a savory chaffle, it's not quite as hard to get the flavors to work. Technically, you can use a lot of different cheeses if you're going savory. But anytime you're trying to make a sweet chaffle, I would definitely recommend sticking with just a mozzarella. You'll find it works out a lot better. So that's pretty much all there is to mixing that together. We're going to add in our brown sugar. It's not sugar, it's a Swerve sweetener. I like using this for my sweet chaffles. I sort of like the granulated or powdered sugar version of Swerve. This just gives it that nice caramel flavor kind of thing. So that will definitely help sweeten up this chaffle. But to add to that, we're just going to put in a little bit of this pancake syrup right in with the chaffle mix. And as you can see, being a liquid, moisture and liquids kind of are your enemy when it comes to making chaffles. You don't want them to be to have too much liquid, or it'll have a hard time coming together. So that's where we're going to introduce this beef gelatin. Now this is I think this was just 1 teaspoon of the beef gelatin. We're going to add that right in there and give that a good mix. That will definitely help the chaffle itself come together when we're cooking it. And one thing we want to do, anytime you're using beef gelatin in a mix like this, it's a good idea to get it mixed in and let it sit for a few minutes just for it to bloom a little bit, kind of thing. So that's a good mixture right there. Definitely, you know, smells nice and sweet, which is what we're looking for. So what I did with the breakfast sausage is I actually added a little bit of the pancake syrup in and just mixed it around after it was cooked. Again, we're just trying to impart as much of the sweet breakfast sandwich flavor as we can. So I'll let this sit for a couple minutes while we warm up the Stuffler waffle iron here, which usually takes about 5 minutes anyways, so that works out good. And then we'll start putting this breakfast sandwich together. Okay, so it looks like our Stuffler is all preheated here. It's been 5 or 6 minutes kind of thing. So we'll open it up and we'll start adding our chaffle batter first, which has also had a little bit of time to rest to let that gelatin do its thing. So it's thickened up a little bit, which is what we're looking for. So we're just going to add some mix into each one of these sections here. Basically just looking to cover the bottom of the waffle iron. Just like that kind of thing, and just spread it out a little bit. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take some of our sausage here. It may just be easier to use my hands because I want to kind of place it around the waffle iron here. Make sure it gets nice and spread out so that we can get nice yummy pieces of sausage in every bite kind of thing. We may not even wind up needing all of this, but that's fine. We'll put in what we do need, sort of just like that. And then we'll put our fried egg on top here, like so. And then, of course, we have to have the cheese. Now, this isn't your regular sort of plastic American cheese. This is actual cheddar cheese, you know, much better than what you would actually get in that brand name breakfast sandwich. But of course we do have to have cheese. It wouldn't be the same without that. So let's cover this up with more of our sweet chaffle batter here. Sort of just like that. We are definitely overfilling the Stuffler today, but we should be just fine. So we're going to close this up like that, and then we're going to flip the whole thing over, trying not to hit the camera too much. And this is going to cook for, you know, 7, 8, 9 minutes, something like that. We'll watch the steam, see how things go, and then we'll come back when it's done. Okay, so our breakfast sandwich chaffle's been cooking for about 8 minutes. And I have taken a look at it, and you will see that it's going to be a little darker than usual, but that's to be expected when you're making chaffles with sweetener in it. As you can see, it's not the golden brown that we're used to, but that's just the sugars, or the sugars caramelizing on the outside of the chaffle. So don't be alarmed by it. You know, it happens whenever you're making chaffles. The sugars will do that every time, pretty much. So we're gonna unplug our Stuffler here, see if we can get it out, which I was kind of worried we'd have a little bit of trouble with this one. Again, it seems anytime you make a sweet stuffed chaffle, you kind of need to get some help getting it out with a spatula kind of thing, because it just gets soft on the edges, and unfortunately you're trying to lift it out with this this holder, and it just slips off kind of thing. But if you get a spatula under it, not a problem. So we're just going to move that over to a wire rack for now, and we're going to let that cool off a little bit. As you can see, still nice and well cooked on the sides there. We'll let that cool off, and we'll cut it open and see how it turned out. Here is our stuffed chaffle. This is the cheese side up, and like I say, don't worry about the color of these. This happens every time you make a chaffle with sweetener in it. It's just the sweetener caramelizing, so don't let that alarm you. It'll still taste good. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a serrated knife here, and we're going to just cut down the center of this stuffed chaffle just like this, and we'll see the inside of it. So you can see that nice sausage layer here, and then we've got our egg, and then we've got the cheese on top. So let that cool off for just a couple more minutes, and then we'll give it a try and see if we succeeded in making our copycat breakfast sandwich. Okay, so our sweet breakfast sandwich, copycat of the world famous sort of sweet breakfast sandwich that's out there. I'm not going to name any names, you know, in the video, but you'll get the idea. You may have noticed that I did get some comments and videos saying, well, like, why don't you show your face when you're taste testing stuff? And I agree. It's makes sense that I'm actually showing you eating it instead of just going out of camera to do it. So that being said, there's the inside of our breakfast sandwich. This is still really hot on the outside, so I'm not sure how it's going to be on the inside. Definitely smells nice and sweet. Now you could add sweetener to the outside of this as well, like a pancake kind of thing, but I think we'll be all right without doing that. So without further ado, let's give this a try. It may look burnt, but it's definitely not burnt. That's just the sweetener caramelizing. This tastes really good. The sweet taste is coming through in the chaffle batter for sure. So that was a success. You know, that sometimes it's hard to get a good balance of sweet when you're making things like chaffles. So I would definitely say this is a thumbs up. A must try if you like a sweet chaffle. Again, sweet treats on keto isn't, it's not an everyday thing. Just do it once in a while, just to keep yourself happy and content in your lifestyle kind of thing. But I would definitely give this a try. If you like the content, please consider giving it a thumbs up on the down below, and consider subscribing. We come out with a new video every Sunday at 6:45 p.m. and we try and go live on Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. as well. So that's about it. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll see you on the next one. Keep on thriving, my friends.